It's been just over 7 months since we bought the van, and this is the Thor Tellaro 2025. And in the 7 months, we've used it a handful of times. So we put 7,000 miles on this van, but we thought we would take the opportunity now, since we're in the middle of beautiful nowhere, to just give you an update of the pros and cons. Some of the things that we really like about the van, and maybe some of the things that we don't. So we're just going to do a run through of the van and share some of the things that we really like and some of the things that we don't.
Let's start with the most important part, which is the food. So we have an induction stove here that came with the van. That's really nice because we'll show you in a minute that we don't have a propane or any kind of open flame inside. It took a little adapting, but it's fine. We have an outlet here, so this is kind of our little setup. We're going to have a steak tonight, and it cooks up real fast, real nice. Eventually, I want to get a swing arm that comes out. We'll do a little griddle action. Stay tuned for that.
I actually think the induction, though it's good, it's nice that it heats up really fast and you have a benefit of being able to cook inside and outside. It's actually a drawback in my eyes because you actually can only cook one meal at a time. If you look at the setup is, you can see we are set up here where we can only do one dish at a time. And quite honestly, any of our other videos, especially on Instagram, we've mastered the one skillet dish, which has been really fun. But when we were camping before on the Outlander, we were able to do some really fun things on our Blackstone. And so we missed that, which when Jason extends the arm, we'll get back to that. But I will say, with this setup, we're limited to what we're doing, again, just because of the one skillet setup.
And now that we're bickering online, this is great. I happen to like it. All right, so we're moving back here to the rear of the van. A couple things that are really nice. With this model, it came with the nets. And we'll see on the side that it came with the nets as well. But these nets have been great. We've already seen some bugs try to get in and some that have got in, but I'm sure we've filtered out a lot. The other thing I really like about this, there's some storage here. That's all great. But we have a hitch that's already built in. And the hitch is going to be great because eventually we want to get some bicycles on here, some beach cruisers. Like I said, maybe a branch off. You could do a dual, I think a dual hitch, maybe a dual tongue. I can't remember what the term is, but and then that's where I'll have the swing arm come around with the Blackstone. You can see that we have a exhaust pipe here, and this is not for the engine. This is for the onboard generator. This is actually one of the drawbacks. Although I really like the fact that it comes with a solar panel. It also comes with a generator. The problem is, and if the camera lady would be so kind, you can see the profile. And the generator is so low that I think eventually we're going to have to get probably like a 2, maybe 3-inch lift kit. And the ground clearance is just really, really low. And since we're on that topic, you can see right here we have our gray water discharge where we can drain out the gray water. That's also has a very poor ground clearance. Aside from that, we have our cassette removal. That's been pretty good. A little gross, but it's what it is. I mean, even if you had similar to the gray water, you would still be dumping and having to get into it. So it is what it is. Of course, we got our power outlet, and then we have our fill for our onboard propane tank. That's been really nice because flip that on, and the generator, the whole thing's on board, already assembled, already connected. Aside from just flipping on the gas right here, we have a dash that has it's the brains. It has everything, controls it right from one stance, and you're rolling. So it's been good.
Super easy for wives to manage.
All right. Okay, we can get to a couple of technicalities here. Right here we have our gas tank. So it's easy. It's nice. It's right there. You gotta get used to it because most vehicles aren't like that. As we look at the cockpit, we do have your standard cockpit, really easy driving. You sit pretty low and you can see over the dash and the windshield and the front bumper, and you could see like basically your spatial distances.
When we camped with the Outlander, I didn't drive that vehicle, not one time, actually. This so far, I'm very comfortable driving. So to his point on the clearance and being able to see, I'm very comfortable driving this, and I actually enjoy it. It's very easy to maneuver, and again, it's super easy and super comfortable, and I like it.
Also, to really kind of put things in perspective, this is a Dodge chassis, and a typical Dodge diesel, like a Ram 2500, would be about 7,000 pounds. This vehicle is about 9,000 pounds and probably about 11,000 pounds fully loaded, and it's running off of a V6. I think it's turbocharged. I should probably know that, but it handles pretty well. Even if it being 11,000, it still gets blown around from the wind. There's a lot of turbulence next to semi-trucks, so you gotta be aware of that. Otherwise, it does pretty well. I wouldn't say it's gutless, but obviously it's hauling a lot of weight. So one last thing I want to mention as we get ready to go interior is again, the profile's nice. You sit at an appropriate height, and the way these mirrors are positioned, it really minimizes the blind spots, and so that's been nice. The last thing I want to mention about the exterior, or at least the powertrain, the drivability, is that it is two-wheel drive. So two-wheel drive plus the low profile almost makes it a street queen. And we do want to take this into some a little more aggressive, not crazy like Jeep mode, but a little more aggressive terrain. And we can't quite do that. So again, stay tuned. We probably will put a lift kit on this, maybe some more aggressive tires. Nothing crazy, but just to get some places that wouldn't go if you were driving a Honda Civic. All right, as we come inside, a couple cool things. Let's start with the little nuances. We got this little tray pull out, which is nice. We got a little Malibu poodle terrier dog thing, and he likes it. So we got our water and our food, and that just tucks it way in nicely with a little extra storage there. It's been great. Since I'm down here, you can see that we got a little a jack. Maybe you can, maybe you can't see it. I know it's getting dark, but there's a little jack here, an outlet. And so Kelly works remotely, and so she can make this her rolling office, which has been nice. Okay, it's getting a little dark. This is the brains that we were talking about. Full control panel, handles just about everything, minus a couple things, but basically right here, it's getting a little dark. Let's turn it on. And so we go interior, and then we have a lot of options here. And what's really cool about this situation is that you can adjust in the dimness of our lighting. So as you come inside, pretty standard. One of the things we really liked was having the sink kind of look out. It's almost like at home, where if you're doing dishes, you're kind of prepping, you're cleaning, whatever. It's like to look out a window, and we got a nice big window, so we try to set up appropriately. So here we're positioned with the fireplace, and it's a good situation. The other thing we like to do when we're positioning the vehicle, although most importantly, is to make it level. We like to have a nice window on the back, and try to keep the doors open at night if possible, and just have a nice little scenery. Go around from, let's see, that'd be your right all the way around to the left. And so you can see right here we got a TV. You can pull on this right here. That shouldn't happen. I'll have to fix that later. And this swings out, and you can watch AM, FM broadcasted. And then we have a Google.
Wait, AM, FM, isn't that radio?
It is radio, but you can get that. You can get the TV reception, like from an antenna, which is on board. And you also can get...
this is a smart TV.
It is. And so you have the Wi-Fi extender, and we have Google... Chromecast. Yeah. Trust me, I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm a handyman too. So this swings out. It's nice. We don't really use it. We might use it for like if we're in a neighborhood where, maybe we're going to a wedding or something, and we're just kind of roughing it right before the wedding, and we want to watch the news at night. We might do that. But tonight, we're definitely not watching TV. As we go on over here, we have a nice little closet. We hang up some extra jackets. It's really cool to have jackets that we don't need, and so we keep them in here so that I don't forget them. We're from Phoenix, and so right now we're up in a town called Greer, so the temperature drops, and we're not ready for that. So we go from 100 degrees down to like 50 degrees, and we forget jackets. So it's nice to just keep them in here. Down here is a little more storage, and that's where we keep this Keurig and the induction stove, and we can slide them right in there. So that's been nice. Go a little further, you can come right into the room where all the magic happens. We got a wet bath, and I'm about as big as you can be to come in here, so just buyer beware. I'm 5'11", I'm about 220, and anyone bigger than that, if you push 6 feet, you probably can't take a shower. So, but it is nice. We got a sink, and the sink drains into the back, and so we just do our business here, put it back, it drains down into the gray water. We have obviously our faucet here that you can tuck away, our commode, and then we have our faucet here for our showers. I did a little modification. I cut this out. I don't know why they did this. They made a bracket that was a full loop, and you couldn't take this down, and so I cut that, and part of my handyman skills. So that's been nice. And then also we have some of our toiletries in our nice little medicine cabinet.
I will say it has been very nice and helpful to keep this fully stocked. We just have these shelvings in here, and then this is good to go anytime we're on a road trip, so we don't have to think about anything we want to bring. It's just always in here, and then this stays put when we're on the road. It's not shuffling around, so that's been actually that's worked out really well.
Okay, as we continue on, this bed actually has been converted into a bed from 2 couches. So that we have 2 couches that face each other. That would probably be really beneficial to keep it as a setup if we had bicycles in here, anything we want to store and not use the bed. But we just find it more convenient to keep the bed made, and the storage, everything we need pretty much fits right underneath. So speaking of storage, we have basically our closets, extra set of some winter sheets. So right now we have like these light cotton sheets, so if it gets too cold, we always have the flannel ones. Again, coming from Phoenix, we may not even realize that, and then by the time we get here it's too late. So we have his and hers for the clothes. Plenty of storage for clothes. Between this and the jackets, there's plenty. So I've actually loaded up too many clothes in here. Sometimes we use it as a laundry basket, and it's been plenty.
I also want to highlight too, in the storage, there's outlets in here, which is great because this is where we charge our phones at night. So that's been really helpful. I think that's just a nice perk. And then underneath the beds as well, there's added storage in here too. So we've got like our shoes in here. There's other camping gear and just various things that we've got. But as far as storage goes, I mean, it definitely doesn't disappoint when it comes to the 2 of us. And then, within the kitchen, we've got all of our cooking utensils organized pretty well in here. And then I think one nice addition was we did add on a paper towel rack. We've got all of our spices in here organized and good to go. So, I mean, this functions pretty well the way that we have needed it to. I don't know that there's much that we would change in this space. You?
No. One of the things I really like about this unit, this Thor Tellaro, is that it's primarily an electric setup. And so it has an onboard inverter that can handle a lot of electricity load. And then, of course, it has the onboard propane and the generator. And if you know, the generator is primarily for the AC unit and then the microwave. Outside of that, you really don't need a generator. Now, I say that, but sometimes we find that the induction stove draws from the outlet so much so that it needs the generator. Thank you, camera lady. So in short, what I really want to just commend is that you don't ever have to worry about, propane fridges or, the other electrical amenities, because it's all driven by the solar panels, driven by the alternator, driven by the massive battery capacity, and we've never felt worried about like waking up and then are we powerless? So the one thing also about being powerless is that it has an emergency mode. So you have a battery in the front for the powertrain, and then you also have a set of batteries back here for the cabin. And if the cabin were to ever die, you could press the button and it would draw from the front and then kick on whatever you needed back here. And then also vice versa. So if you completely drew out the battery from the front, you would still have auxiliary to then jumpstart your own vehicle. I just think that's genius. If I had to build my own vehicle, that would never be a thing that I would.
So, in conclusion, would you buy this vehicle again? Are you happy with your purchase?
Oh, me? Yeah, I would buy it because the price was right, because they included a lot of the little amenities like the generator, the solar panel, the screens. Those have been really nice features. The things I wish for, just in summary, were the profile, the ground clearance, which I guess is the same thing. Maybe four-wheel drive would be nice, but definitely the gray water drain and the generator are so low that we have no ground clearance. All that plus, hey, we live in Arizona, and so it's hot, and you can see we're having problems with some of our finish, and maybe you can't see. Maybe we can make.
Yeah,
It's
it is
just
melting
it's
off.
simply melting, and so I know that they make these. I would say cheap, but they make them lightweight, and unfortunately, when you compromise on weight and maybe quality, but you're compromising no matter what. That's what happens, especially when you live in extreme weather. So, all in all, really happy with the purchase. Just wish there was a couple of tweaks, and I think we can actually make those adjustments over time by investing in this.
Good answer. I think if you were to ask me the same question, Jason, um, I would respond very similar. I think I'm ultimately very happy. I think this is one of the best things that we have purchased, especially in the camping realm. I love it. I'm very happy. The downside for me truly is just in the cooking sphere. I absolutely love camp cooking. I think this is something that we've had to adjust to. So that's really my only challenge that I see with this vehicle. There's nothing else that I would add. I like driving this vehicle, and I've absolutely loved being in this camper. So I do recommend it. I think I would give it a 9 out of 10. So good luck to you if you're interested in purchasing this vehicle. But that is our review on the Thor Tellaro 2025. Good luck.
Mahalo.